The age of tenderpreneurs and assassins. We live in a time where wealth comes not from invention, but from connection. Not from solving problems, but from feeding off the state like parasites. This is the age of the tenderpreneur, the middleman with no skill but access. He builds nothing. He repairs nothing. He heals no one. But he wears suits, drives German cars, and orders hits from boardrooms. Why the money isn't fixing the pipes? The silent collapse of municipal infrastructure. Every year, South Africa's Auditor General releases a damning report on the state of municipal finances. And every year, it says the same thing in new words. The money is not where it should be. Infrastructure is crumbling, water leaks go unattended, roads decay, and sewage floods communities. Yet municipal budgets exist, often billions strong. So where is the money going? 1. Budgeting for appearances. Not maintenance. Municipalities often allocate funds for new projects rather than maintaining existing infrastructure. Why? Because flashy new developments look better on paper and on election posters. Maintenance is invisible. It doesn't win votes. 2. The vicious cycle of environment's funds are frequently reallocated from critical maintenance to urgent needs like bloated salary increases, vehicles, or last-minute events. The pipe was supposed to be fixed. Instead, a mayor's office got new furniture. 3. Cadre deployment and tenderpreneurship contracts are awarded to politically connected tenderpreneurs with little capacity or intention to deliver. As a result, roads are resurfaced on paper but remain potholes in reality. These deals bleed resources, leaving no money for honest upkeep. 5. Lack of skills and oversight. Many municipalities simply lack technical capacity to plan, implement, and monitor maintenance. Engineers have left. Oversight committees are either asleep or captured. There's no one to even check that work is done. 5. No culture of preventive governance. Maintenance is not just a technical issue. It's a governance philosophy. The culture of reactive politics, waiting until crisis hits, has replaced the ethic of forward planning and stewardship. A warning in the Auditor General's voice. The Auditor General's reports don't just audit finances. They expose a moral and managerial failure at the heart of local government. When infrastructure isn't maintained, it's not just potholes and broken taps. It's lost dignity, public health risks, and the quiet economic death of towns. The road ahead. Until municipalities embrace transparency, long-term planning, and consequence management, infrastructure will keep collapsing, even with billions in the bank. Fixing this isn't a matter of more money. It's a matter of political will, ethical leadership, and restoring trust in the idea that public money should serve the public. The quiet economic death of South African towns. How mismanagement, neglect, and broken trust are killing local economies. By Chris Kanyane. Across South Africa, something deeply unsettling is happening. Not with a bang, but with a slow, suffocating silence. From Butterworth to Schweizer-Reneke, from Kuruman to Komani, once thriving towns are wilting into economic ghost. The streets are full of potholes, the lights flicker or don't work. Businesses are shutting their doors, and young people are either idle or fleeing. We are witnessing the quiet economic death of our towns, and no one in power seems to be listening. 1. The collapse of infrastructure. 1. The collapse of confidence. Roads aren't just roads. Water pipes aren't just pipes. They are the veins and arteries of economic life. When sewage runs through the streets or water interruptions stretch for days, businesses can't operate, tourism disappears, investment retreats, and residents lose faith. You cannot build a sustainable economy on top of broken infrastructure. Municipalities are given billions annually, yet the Auditor General's reports consistently show unspent capital budgets, irregular expenditures, and a staggering lack of maintenance planning. When the budget meant for fixing pumps and resurfacing roads is instead diverted to events, travel, or looted via tenders, it's not just corruption, it's economic sabotage. 2. No one is coming to save these towns. While metros dominate national headlines, the real story is playing out in small towns and rural municipalities. These areas are the backbone of agricultural activity, local manufacturing, and traditional Industries, when they collapse, so does local food security and job creation. Instead of strategic recovery plans, most towns are offered slogans and top-down frameworks from provincial or national levels. But centralization is not the cure. Local governance is the battleground, and right now, we are losing. 3. When youth leave, the future leaves. The most telling sign of a dying town is its youth. In towns like Sterkstrom or Coligny, youth unemployment exceeds 60%. With no jobs, no funding for startups, and no local infrastructure for enterprise development, young people are forced into one of 3 futures: migrate, remain trapped, or revolt. The long-term effect? Brain drain, economic erosion, and the complete disappearance of community resilience. 4. Why this is happening? Tenderpreneur politics, where contracts go to the connected, not the competent. Cadre deployment, where municipal managers are appointed based on loyalty, not skill. Absence of consequence management, where failure carries no penalty and the same leaders rotate through failing municipalities. Broken citizen trust. When people no longer believe their voice matters, they disengage or explode in protest. 5. The way forward, not more policy, but moral leadership. What these towns need isn't more frameworks or blueprints gathering dust in Pretoria. They need local leaders with spine and integrity, municipal professionals appointed on merit public-private community partnerships that bypass political gatekeeping, infrastructure investment with accountability, a culture of maintenance. Over monuments, the dignity of a nation begins in its smallest towns. Final word, this is not just decline, it is deliberate neglect. South Africa does not suffer from a lack of plans. It suffers from a lack of truth, of courage, of consequence. The quiet death of our towns is not accidental. It is the product of years of self-serving governance, tolerated failure, and political cowardice. But where neglect thrives, revival is possible if we start speaking plainly, acting boldly, and demanding better from those who claim to serve us. Let me know if you'd like this adapted into a Sunday Times feature format, a YouTube video, narration, a printed brochure for civic education, a social media graphic thread, or if you want a part 2, blueprint to resurrect a South African town. Blueprint to resurrect a South African town. Turning rot into renewal. In part 1, we diagnosed the slow death of South African towns, a tragedy of broken roads, broken pipes, broken trust. But diagnosis without a cure is despair. So here is a practical, no excuses blueprint to revive these places from the ground up. It begins not in parliament, but on the pavement, in the streets where real life is happening. 1. Start with the core. Fix the infrastructure, not the billboard. Revival begins when water runs, sewage is managed, and potholes are filled. Not when the mayor cuts a ribbon on a multi-purpose center that will be vandalized within months. Prioritize water and sanitation systems, reliable electricity, especially off-grid solar backups, pothole patching and streetlight restoration, marketplaces and taxi ranks as zones of dignity, not decay, cut events budgets, cut mayoral perks, and pour every cent into core service delivery. 2. Appoint local champions, not party agents. Merit-based appointments are not a dream. They are a demand. Municipal managers, CFOs, engineers, and planners must be hired for skill, not slogans. The community should know them, see them, and hold them accountable. Remove dead weight. Build a local leadership core that includes retired engineers and civic-minded professionals, local entrepreneurs, traditional leaders, and faith leaders, young visionaries rooted in the area. These are the stewards of a new era. 3. Ignite local enterprise and trade. No town will survive off government alone. We need to bring back trade, revive agriculture and agro-processing, even small scale. Create artisan hubs, welding, carpentry, mechanics, tailoring support township. Entrepreneurs with markets and microloans turn vacant land into food gardens and manufacturing zones. Stop policing hawkers. Start partnering with them. 4. Create a public maintenance brigade. Every unemployed young person is not lazy. They are unused. Municipalities can contract youth brigades to clean streets, paint public buildings, maintain parks and cemeteries, assist in fixing schools and clinics, tie payment to performance, give them tools, give them pride. 5. Build trust, not just by talking, but by showing up. Run weekly public updates. What was fixed, what failed, who's responsible. Publish local budgets online in simple language. Hold real community meetings, not rally-style speeches. Set deadlines and report back. This is the real freedom charter, when people see change and are part of it. Conclusion, the town is a mirror of the nation. Resurrecting a town is not about grandeur. It's about getting the basics right and doing them with integrity. It's about humility in leadership, simplicity in focus, discipline in execution, and community in everything. If we fix one town, we will learn how to fix 100. And if we can fix 100, we can fix a nation. Let the resurrection begin. Part 3. The enemies within. Why resurrecting South African towns is so difficult. Fixing a broken town sounds noble, but let us not romanticize it. You are walking into a battlefield, not just against bad roads and dry taps, but against something much harder, a culture of embedded corruption, a state of institutional sabotage, a psychology of hopelessness. Corruption is not an event. It's a culture. People often think corruption is a case of one official stealing money. That's the surface. The real corruption is embedded, systemic, learned, rewarded, supply. Chain managers expect 10% cuts. It's how things work. Counselors block honest businesses to protect comrades with fake companies. Projects are overinflated to feed middlemen and ghost workers. You are not just fixing infrastructure. You are threatening a feeding trough. That's why good people are pushed out, threatened, or bought. Political patronage is the real town manager. Even if the town appoints a qualified engineer, he won't last long if he doesn't take instructions from local political power brokers. Municipal appointments are too often based on loyalty to the party, not to the Constitution, tied to informal patronage networks, protected by provincial interference when incompetence is exposed. This makes basic performance impossible. Community apathy. Born from betrayal, ordinary residents have seen promises come and go. They've marched in service delivery protests for years, signed petitions that went nowhere, seen officials steal, resign, and come back richer, so when you start rebuilding, don't expect applause. You'll get suspicion, cynicism, even sabotage. Not because people are negative, but because they've been burned before. The good are isolated, or silenced whistleblowers are called traitors. Municipal officials who refuse to sign off on illegal contracts are suspended. Citizens who ask questions are labeled anti-development. Honest suppliers are denied tenders because they don't play dirty. The system eats its own integrity. Bureaucracy is a maze designed to confuse, not deliver. Try to get a water tanker fixed. You need a requisition, a purchase order, a quote from 3 suppliers, a political blessing, a supplier aligned with a mayor's faction. By the time it's approved, the town is dry. So what's the point of even trying? Because even in this brokenness, there are glimmers. A few towns where committed leadership has made visible change. Youth who still want to work with dignity, citizens who clean streets without pay, churches and civic groups who build where government has failed. Fight is worth it. But it will not be easy. Resurrecting a town in South Africa today is not administration. It is activism. It is courage. It is war against decay. And only those ready to sacrifice comfort will win it. Part 4. Against the Rot, a blueprint for reclaiming. Our town, South Africa, doesn't need miracles. It needs courage. The slow death of our towns is not irreversible, but it will not be reversed by slogans, summits, or speeches. It will be reversed by action. Hard, painful, principled action. This is a practical blueprint, a resistance manual for communities, reformers, and public servants who are ready to fight back. Build parallel structures of trust. If you can't trust the municipality, don't wait. Form civic committees made up of teachers, shopkeepers, retired engineers, nurses, and trusted elders. Conduct community audits of potholes, broken taps, failed tenders. Use WhatsApp groups, churches, and local media to report and track repairs. Partner with honest businesses to fix small things. Broken fences, school toilets, leaking pipes. Don't fight the whole system. Build pockets of working alternatives. Use the law. Don't just shout at it. South Africa's laws are robust. The MFMA, PFMA, Municipal Systems Act, and Promotion of Access to Information Act, PAIA, are tools. Learn them. Demand budget. Documents and procurement records under PAIA. Record service delivery failures, and send formal letters to the Auditor General. Escalate to Chapter 9. Institutions like the Public Protector and SAHRC with clear evidence. Bureaucrats hate exposure more than protest. Paper is more powerful than placards. Target key pressure. Points, not whole buildings. You don't need to clean the whole house. Start by closing the taps of theft. Focus on one corrupt tender and shut it down. Name one contractor that failed to deliver and blacklist them publicly. Expose one senior official's misconduct with names, dates, and documents. Precision pressure, not vague outrage, brings real fear to corrupt networks. Form coalitions that are willing work across divisions. Bring together civil society, small businesses, teachers, and youth groups. Involve retired professionals who want to give back. Ask local media to run a Fix Our Town campaign with weekly accountability segments. Forget politics. Focus on shared pain. Coalitions are stronger than comradeships. Reignite local patriotism. People defend what they love. Remind them. Document your town's proud history. Photos of the past, stories of dignity. Hold small monthly fix-it days where people paint buildings or clean parks. Celebrate honest officials. Make integrity famous again. Shame fades when pride dies. Reignite pride. You'll revive the town. Final word. The resurrection is local. You will not save this country through national elections alone. You will save it town by town, block by block, borehole by borehole. The struggle today is not between ANC and DA. It is between those who steal and those who serve. Those who numb the nation and those who awaken it. Choose your side, stand your ground, and begin with your town. Part 5, Towns That Fought Back. Case Studies of Local Resurrection by Chris Canyane. Even in the ashes, there are embers all across. South Africa's small towns once choked by corruption, neglect, and decay have begun to fight back. Quietly, stubbornly, and without waiting for national permission. These aren't miracles. These are blueprints. Senekal, Free State, the power of unified voice. Once written off as another forgotten agricultural town, Senekal changed course when the community united across racial and political lines after a high-profile farm murder. Instead of descending into chaos, residents formed community policing forums that now patrol nightly. Created a local watch WhatsApp network linking farmers, police, and residents. Began direct pressure on municipal budget misuse using PAIA to access records. Outcome, crime fell. Public accountability rose. The town now runs semi-independently of its failing council. Colmany, Queenstown, Eastern Cape, courtroom resistance. Colmany citizens, led by the Let's Talk Colmany movement, refused to normalize broken roads, dry taps, and looted funds. Their tools were not weapons. They were court papers. Forced the municipality to repair water infrastructure through legal interdicts. Publicized internal memos showing deliberate mismanagement of funds. Shamed failed contractors in local radio shows. Outcome: legal victories led to water restoration and national media coverage. The town became a symbol of lawful resistance. Mukgofong, Limpopo, the role of retired professionals in Mukgofong. Pensioners, many former engineers, teachers, and administrators were tired of watching their town collapse. They volunteered to fix leaking pipes, potholes, and broken school gates. Set up an audit watchdog group that flagged budget irregularities. Raised funds to revive a dysfunctional library and local park. Outcome: service delivery slowly improved. Public spaces began to shine. Young people started joining the retirees. A transfer of civic leadership was born. Clan William, Western Cape, a business-led turnaround. When the local council failed to repair roads and maintain infrastructure, a group of small business owners stepped in. They formed a local infrastructure trust, pooling monthly funds. paid for road repairs, refused removal, and school improvements, partnered with local youth to run after-school and skills programs. Outcome: town became a case study in private-public parallel service delivery, maintaining dignity where government failed. Ermelo, Mpumalanga, the media awakens local journalists. In Ermelo launched a digital watchdog page, Ermelo Exposed, documenting every broken promise with names, photos, and leaked memos. Made council meetings public via livestream. Published lists of phantom tenders and unqualified appointments. Empowered residents with scripts to call, write, and escalate complaints. Outcome: shamed into action, several officials resigned. Treasury placed spending under review. Digital vigilance became a public weapon. Conclusion: the blueprint exists. We just need to copy it. None of these towns had perfect conditions. They had resolve. They used the law, shared information, crossed divides, acted locally, kept going. These are not exceptions. They are templates. If Senecal, Komani, Mukofong, Clan William, and Ermelo can fight back, so can any town. The resurrection is not theoretical. It's happening. You just need to join the fight where you are.